digi this a digital rock. Digi this a digital rock. A digi this a digital roots. Digi this a digital roots. On every new rhythm track you wear autoclap.
Little public service announcement. A bit of a rant again. This has been on my mind for a really long time. I have no idea how the public will react to this. Maybe they'll be like, this is stupid. It's not important. But I tell you what, it's important to me. So that's why I decided to finally get this off my chest. It's about digital currency and cognitive dissonance in Western society. So I'm focusing on digital currency. Why you should always, everywhere you go, carry cash and use it. The reason being is that digital currency is, if you do your research, digital currency is the most common currency lost. It's the most common currency stolen. It's also connected to everyone's identity, social security number, driver's license number, business license, address, bank accounts. So it's also the most common identity theft gateway, basically. Credit card companies are the gateway to most identity theft. Credit card is digital currency. So I want to make it clear that I'm not saying don't use digital currency. What I'm saying is don't use digital currency when you can use cash. So if you're buying a service or a product and you're there in person and you're looking at it and they can hand it to you, well then you should hand them something. You should hand them cash. Don't use your debit card to buy a cup of coffee or something else under $10. Use cash. Cash is, although it is a fiat currency no longer based on the gold standard, it's less fiat than digital currency. The other thing people need to know about digital currency is the reason why it was created. Again, do your research. The reason why it was created was not to make your life more convenient. It was created so that the industrialized banking corporations and families could make their lives easier by tracking everything you spend and also by invading your privacy. Digital currency was designed to invade your privacy, to come into your household, come into your phone, come into your computer, come into your life, and then influence your behavior on what you buy, what you see, even what you sell. So my qualm is not with digital currency itself. It's with how we use it. There's so much cognitive dissonance out there with the way currency works. For example, when I talk to people about this, the most common rebuttal is, well, if I have cash, I'll spend it. I'll spend more cash than if I use my debit card. Totally untrue. If you look at the research, you spend more money on average when you don't see it leave your hands. It's obvious. It's common sense. Think about it. You don't see it, so you're not tracking it, right? So you see it a month later on your bank statement, and then you realize how much you spent. Over year after year and decade after decade, you don't realize that you spend a lot more money in the digital world than you would if you were actually holding cash and deciding, how many of these paper bills should I give away for this product right now? And how much should I keep and put in my pocket? So that argument that you spend more cash is not true. Again, just Google it. Do your research. The other thing is that personally, cash spending is non-traceable, and that is privacy. That's private. You should be able to buy something from a merchant or from someone or just from your neighbor or a friend and not have the government or a private family or a bank know about it and be up in your business. There's no reason why outside sources need to know what you spend your money on. It's not about being legal or illegal or buying things that are illegal. It's not about that. It's simply about privacy. Everyone has a right to privacy. That's what helps us self-reflect. You sit alone in privacy, and that's how you figure out who you are and what your values are and what your character is and what you should change and how you should grow and what direction you should go in. So I recently went into the airport in New York City. I also went into an airport in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There were a couple of restaurants there that would not take my cash. They basically said, our new policy is we only take credit or debit. And so, you know what I did? I turned around and I walked 30 feet away in both cases, And I went to their competition and I bought myself a meal and a beer and I enjoyed it. And I bought it with cash. So that's actually my main message. If anybody's here is listening and has any interest in what I'm saying right now, here's the message. Carry cash everywhere you go. Use it as much as you can because you vote with your dollar. And your dollar could be a digital dollar or a real dollar or a check or some other form of currency. But cash is the most fluid form of currency. That's why it's called current. It flows in the current. It's currency. It's also present right now. That's why it's current. So it's currency. So what I'm saying is if you want to buy something online and you can't actually see the product and it needs to be shipped to you and delivered to you, yeah, use your digital currency. Use your debit card. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying don't engage in the digital world. What I'm saying is to all those business owners out there and those merchants out there that refuse to take people's hard-earned cash, well, anybody listening to me right now should perk up and go, look, the customer is the one who has the power. You're a consumer. You get to choose what you buy. You also should get to choose how you buy it. When a merchant starts dictating how you buy things and forcing you to use digital currency, I say put an embargo on them. Put a boycott on that business and go elsewhere and spend your cash and fill the coffers of their competition. So if you're a business owner and you're listening to this, provide service for everyone. Take debit cards, take credit cards, take cash. Don't start boycotting cash because what that's doing is invading people's privacy, tricking the new generation, the younger generation, into thinking that's the only form of currency. And then they grow up with the state authority deep inside their personal business and their private life. And here's the other thing about digital currency. The reason why it's the most common currency lost or stolen is very simple. The digital world is wrought with hackers. It's wrought with computer programs that manage monies, or I should say manage zeros and ones, manage bytes, manage numbers in the blink of an eye. And this is why the stock market does what it does and a few people get rich. It's not that hard to hire someone or to even write a program to sneak a penny out of a million people's bank accounts in the blink of an eye during a rolling blackout or any other crisis, and all of a sudden your digital currency disappeared at the push of a button. And if you don't believe that, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you look through history of digital currency, I actually know people that work in the banking industry that deal with risk management. It's very common. The credit card companies are always trying to keep track of where their monies go, and oftentimes they disappear. So what I'm saying is that digital currency is the most common currency lost or stolen because there are people out there savvy enough to take it from you in the blink of an eye. So if you have cash, you know exactly how much you have in your hand or in your pocket. Just think about that. There's also one other business that I recently went to called Tender Greens. It's a restaurant, excellent food, actually excellent service, very good business model, but I'm boycotting them as well. I've been going there for 5 years, eating their food, delicious, enjoying it. I walk in there, I order a meal, I wait in line, I go up to pay, took 5 minutes out of my life, and they said, we won't take your money because it's credit or debit only. And I had a debit card with me, and I said, sorry, I'm out of here. You're going to have to give that meal to someone else or throw it in the garbage or consider it waste. But I'm not going to stand here and be refused my hard-earned cash. It's like if you don't take cash, you are cutting out a huge part of your market. And people should wake up and they should understand that and they should vote with their dollar. So I went right next door to another wonderful restaurant and I bought my meal with cash. So that's my little PSA, my public service announcement. And that's where I stand. And to all the younger people that might be listening to this, definitely you vote with your dollar. And you also vote with what type of dollar that you're using. So use cash. Carry cash everywhere you go as an option. And I'd say boycott those companies that boycott you. I mean, well, you get it. You get the drift. So if you as a conscientious adult make a habit of giving your power away to some other authority because you think it's convenient or you're too lazy to carry a few dollars in your pocket, then it'll be 1 or 2 generations before your children are just born into a system where they have no power. So think about that. The public has the power. The majority is the one that's supposed to rule, at least in America. This is supposedly a democracy where we vote for things. So don't give away your power, and don't give away your children's future to some sort of, chip that could be put into their body and they have to run through a door and get a barcode or something. And you think that's far-fetched? It's not far-fetched. If you make a habit of giving away your power, trust me, there will be others who will be glad to take it from you. So it's just a thought of conscientiousness and a thought of your own personal sovereignty and where you want to spend your money and how you want to spend your money and what kind of money you want to spend. And then now and then I have people say, oh my gosh, in this day and age, who carries cash? Why carry cash? If that's your response, that is what I'm talking about. There's a huge cognitive dissonance there. You don't even realize the power that you have as the public and as a consumer, and you don't even realize that you have the power to vote. And you're actually giving your power away to the state or to some authority and asking them to track your movements, invade your privacy, and then sell you garbage. So if that's your response, gosh, I hope that this little message gets to you. I mean, so what? It's convenient to do a swipe. You ever wait in line at the grocery store? Someone's buying like one item and have to swipe their card 3 times before it goes through. People say, oh my gosh, it's so much faster. No, it's not faster. Cash is faster. Someone hands you something, you hand them something. The deal is done. You don't have to wait for some digital server to process it. Cash is more efficient. Cash is faster. So, hopefully, the message gets through. All right. Thanks for listening.
This a digital rock. This a digital rock. This a digital roots. This a digital roots. On every new rhythm track you wear out a clap. Say digitally program to make the crowd rock. Say digitally this and me say digitally that. Say digitally synchronize so very accurate. Some rhythm get me and that no human don't touch. Until it reach the master tape a man bites it up. Say built by computer from base to hi-hat. But this is where the culture me a bubble and chat. This a digital rock.